Hey, everybody, welcome to Stadium Drive, the podcast. This is a 10 episode kind of mini project where we're going through all 10 songs that we put on our original record. We're going through and talking about fun gear that we used, maybe some fun stories about the lyrics or about the making of the song. This is Pablo, our co producer. And yeah, we're going to go through and just kind of talk a little bit about how it was made. We're really proud of this project. And today, we're fully into the B side now, episode 7, track 7, and this is Pale Moon. And I'll just come out and say I think this is my favorite song of the whole 10 song record. All of them have like their epic parts in their own right, but I just think this song, when it comes to the harmonies, what you did on the lead guitar with that. We'll get into the pedal steel sounds, but it's just like this one just locked in and became something bigger than what we thought.
Yeah, I don't mean to sound conceited, but I would tend to agree, and especially because this is the first one that I kind of brought to the table. It was one that I'd pretty much written a long time ago, actually. It's just you listen to the lyrics. It's kind of a post breakup song. It paints the picture of two people in that state of confusion after a fight. I think that's kind of what I was going for. And honestly, I kind of never really loved the lyrics for it. I always felt like it hit this place that was a little too vague uh, for me, and I also felt like I the whole play of it was that it seemed to be written in like coming from two different perspectives, and when I played it alone, it just didn't feel like the story was getting told correctly. And so when this project came along, it kind of I was flipping through the old notebooks and found it, and it was like maybe this would be cool if I had you sing a verse and I sang a verse, and it kind of you know re it definitely breathed a breath of fresh life into the whole thing because it just made the story feel more real to me.
I think into the song and then into the project. So Alex just kind of basically did a teaser for a lot of these things. It's gonna be fun because now I get to turn this on you now.
Okay.
So Alex, like he kind of mentioned this. If you haven't listened to the past episodes, so this is episode 7, so you can go back and listen to all of our sort of reviews of the making of our previous songs. And yeah, to Alex's point, this is the first one and really one of two where Alex brought the music and the lyrics. In the past, it was either kind of a combination
hmm
or maybe 70% my creation, and then
hmm
you kind of helped it the rest of the way. From a very selfish standpoint, this was such
hmm
a fun moment to be like all of a sudden you were like, well, you open that notebook. It's
hmm
like this little composition notebook from like middle school science class.
hmm
Pages are like falling out everywhere. Um, and he's like, I've got some of these songs that I didn't think would ever go anywhere,
No,
and
I don't know where it
and
is. No,
I
well,
felt very lucky that you showed those.
I don't even know where it is. Nah, it's
Well,
all right. Oh, it's in
yeah,
my car. I took it to open mic night the other
well,
night.
that's actually kind of
Yeah,
badass too.
yeah.
But yeah, so so kind of scaling back a little bit. So yeah, first of all, yeah, there was one night we were hanging out and
hmm
I'd venture to say we were about at the 7 or 8 song mark, maybe
Yeah,
even 6 or 7,
yeah.
and we were still trying to round out this project that we wanted to be about 10 to 12 songs.
hmm
and and I think it kind of was not only logistically like it for many reasons, but
hmm
logistically you were like, well, I mean, I've got some things that
hmm
you probably weren't thinking about bringing out. Like I want to flip the table, so
hmm
now all of a sudden you're bringing something out to show me like
hmm
what made it out of that whole notebook. Like what were some of the reasons why you chose Pale Moon?
Well, definitely, like I had already said, I that song especially, it needed a second voice, I think. And that just having a verse sung from one voice and then another verse sung from another voice, and then for those two things to come together in the last verse, it just felt like it made the whole concept make sense to me. So almost out of necessity in that case, because it's like I couldn't do that all alone. So it just was perfect. It was just good timing. Also, I felt like it was still kind of genre wise. I felt like it was in our lane enough because I write all kinds of weird stuff. I'm always writing silly stuff, and half of it, half the time I never show anybody. It's just for fun. Um, but that, that's one of those ones where I was totally ready to just, let it kind of go on the back burner. But it just fit. It was just right.
How did you feel like this is the first track where your vocal is also
Mm-hmm.
1,000% featured? I think I had dubbed most of
Mm-hmm.
even the harmonies up until this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this is the first time I think that your voice is on, or maybe you sang the harmonies and easier said than done.
I think
But after that,
there were a few, yeah. That definitely was maybe the most nerve wracking. I don't want to say nerve wracking, but I think when we started this, initially I had fully intended that you would just be the same like main singer, like it's just like you hear a band and it's like, oh, that band has this singer, and that's like,
Mhm.
you know, Stone's got their guy, Aerosmith's got their guy, AC/DC's got their guy, like, it's just kind of in my mind it was like, oh, he's the singer, duh. So it's not that I was nervous about it. It just was like, are we really going to break with tradition in that sense? But again, it kind of fits so perfectly, and and out of necessity, like you said, we were at like this 8 track mark, and we were shooting for somewhere closer to 10. And it's like, hey, I've got a few songs that might work for this if you're open to me doing it. And not only were you open to it, but you've been nothing but encouraging on
And
that regard.
Adam Nisse, I mean, first of all, no, the like I said, we've talked about this many a time. I think
Mm-hmm.
this song and the song on the next episode in
Mm-hmm.
particular, the two songs you wrote, I arguably think are two of the best songs on the project. And even looking at the upcoming project, I think are some of the strongest. But I think
For sure.
um, the point in the project, now we're flipping the lead singer, almost like a few classic rock groups
Mm-hmm.
would do this, where like maybe the drummer would sing, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe like the bassist would sing a
One of my
song.
favorite bands, Dinosaur Jr., does that as well. The bass player sings usually right around 2 songs per record, and
Yeah.
there's just there. It's not that it hasn't been done before. It's just like I said, going into this project, and I think everyone would agree you're a very strong singer. So it's like I was just like, yeah, let this guy do the singing, man. Like, you let your heavy hitter do the hitting, like,
This
but
is one of the one. Well, thank you. I'm not going
yeah.
to let you compliment me on this podcast. Like, but my uh, this one, another reason why I think it locks in is because every single element is being done completely to our strengths. Like,
Mm,
because that melody that you're singing,
mhm,
like I could never sing that low. Not
mhm,
as like strong and like as convicted as you're
mhm,
like you're putting that bass melody down, which is like that low, and then the part that you wrote for that second verse where I come in is in
mhm,
my upper register, which is also,
mhm.
I would
Well,
argue,
it's
my
funny because
strength.
it's the same melody, just in octaves. And originally, I thought maybe it would be better to do a male-female thing. Because, like I
Hmm.
said, it was a breakup song, and I'm
Yeah,
a straight person, so in my mind,
yeah.
it's but I also feel like the male female duet thing has been a little
Mhm.
overplayed at this point.
And we're pretty much common law married at this
Yeah, no,
point.
I
Like
think
we spend like,
that's our running
yeah,
joke at this point. Is yeah, we're basically a couple at this point.
we
So
spend like 3 or 4 days a week in this
yeah,
room, literally
no,
just like working on music. So
no,
yes, I one
no,
day
it's true.
actually, quick side note, I was one day I went way too hard into this bit, and I was
Mhm,
like, the common law marriage, and I was like, it's kind of like being in a common law marriage where you have 10 children, and
mhm,
you can't say that any of your children are your favorites, but
mhm.
like
Yeah,
it's 10 songs, right? It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
but I definitely have some favorites,
yeah.
and
No,
then some that I
definitely.
like wish were better or whatever.
The other fun thing I think about this was with like this song and having us both sing is we realized that we do harmonize together pretty darn well when we want to. So.
I mean, that could not have.
Mhm,
I actually remember the day we were here, and we had just gotten done finishing that recording,
mhm,
and for whatever reason, like we decided to take a break, and we went upstairs, and we were just like, or maybe we decided to spin it in the car or whatever it
yeah,
was,
mhm.
and we were like, oh man,
This
like
is
that
actually
actually.
working. Mhm,
There's something about like when my vocal is doubled multiple times
mhm.
versus your and I's vocal.
And they both have their ups and downs because I do like when like and Swear to Me, like the last song we were just looking at, and we stacked 3 4 of your vocals together, and I think it works really well for that sort of thing. for these kind of more ensemble situations.
Sure.
But when it's just the two of us and we're kind of trying to replicate that feeling of like of what you might experience when you see us live.
Yep.
There's something powerful about that when it's done well.
To me, it's the difference between using a vocal as almost another instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's add a harmony line, not
Mm-hmm.
because we need another voice, but
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of give it another layer
Mm-hmm.
versus adding another voice for the sake of having another voice.
Yeah, a
Like,
unique voice. Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Yeah. So,
That's a
and
great point.
like I said, I like just me out in the wild, like I get so
Mhm.
many compliments on that. You sang the shit out of it, you wrote the shit out of
Well,
it.
thank
Like,
you, man.
um,
Likewise.
but like, but yeah, so I want to get into like, because I also think one of the coolest parts of the record
Mhm.
happens on this track, and
Mhm.
that is you basically like built a pedal steel part
Yeah,
like
yeah.
organically out of
Yeah, we
your
were in a tight spot because we didn't know very many pedal steel players, and we also didn't know that we wanted to commit to pedal steel as it was. We were pretty on the fence because, the classic pedal steel is such a country thing, and
sure.
while we have a lot of country elements to us, I wouldn't exactly call this project a country project by any stretch of the imagination. And so I felt like we both felt like we could do something a little different, and I happened to have come across a pretty cool pedal that um, does sort of an automated fade thing, and that combined with the delay, all of a sudden I had a fake pedal steel guitar rig, and so I started playing around with that, and we got some really really neat sounds.
Are you able to show us a little bit?
Yeah, let's just go solo that. And I did some stuff and we logged out.
Because honestly, beyond this, also you wrote, which arguably to me one of your acoustic lead part to this is also
Yeah, so maybe
one of
let's
my
just do a
favorites.
real quick rundown. So,
We can kind of build it layer by layer.
yeah, here we'll start with my guitar. This is how what the song was written over, obviously, initially. Then we can add Jeff's in here. Let's hear just Jeff's for a second.
This is another example of the really fun capo math where I'm up all the way up on capo 4 and C,
That's a great
and
point.
you're
Yeah,
playing it
I'm
like
playing an open
E.
E. Yeah.
So it's much yours is much warmer, where mine's much brighter and kind of
Yeah,
in the higher
almost like
tones.
even almost ukulele-esque.
Yeah.
Not quite there, but it's nice. It blends great. So there's all our guitars. I can add a bus here. And this is one of the more elaborate reverbs
Like
I
the
think I did with
cathedral.
yeah, it's a cathedral. It's got some delays built in. I won't bore you guys with all of that, but it's fun. But yeah, so there's the gist of the tune. Let's go over to that pedal steel sound we were just talking about. Booyah. Let's find
I think that's the first booyah of the series.
a good. Is it really? For those that don't know, I say booyah a lot when I'm working in Pro Tools. It's very satisfying when you do so. Here's that pedal steel part. Well, fake pedal steel. Turn that up for us just a hair. So that's just an electric guitar rigged up through this auto fade pedal that I bought, and then the digital delay. And maybe I might have had reverb on. It might have just been the amp reverb too. I don't remember off the top of my head.
So is there anything that you can like
So
strip away from it to make it?
yeah, so well, these are the pretty much the dry tracks. I've got a little bit of processing here, but let's go over to. I ran it to this room here, which is quite elaborate. Let's go here. It's got like a little bit of detune on it. A lot more sustain to it. So that combined with the act. Basically just stacking delays and making it seem like it's going for forever, which is not typical of a pedal steel. Like they usually use a, like I like to, like a typical pedal steel usually has a pretty quick slap back delay almost, and then some reverb, but they keep it pretty minimal. So it's almost a lie to say that it's fake pedal steel, but whatever it is, it works.
It filled like the space where we thought something pedal steel-esque
As should be, yeah.
yeah, we kind
And
of filled it.
I think I like it too because it feels a little more foreign, alien, just almost like unnatural, and I think it suits the vibe of
It's
the
like
song.
sci-fi-y almost. Like
Yeah.
for a song called Pale Moon,
Mm.
it does kind of
Well, and it
like
rears its ugly head through the rest of the record too, and I probably will be on a good amount of the next record. It's just, I think it just kind of is a staple for us. It gives us this like, yeah, sci-fi brand of folk music,
yeah,
which is hip, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, going
I
back to
like
like
it
the
at least.
80s,
Hmm.
like kind of that classic rock, like combining that classic rock music style with
Hmm.
almost like the pop culture that was happening during that time in the
Right.
80s, like
Yeah.
this very like electronic sort of like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's kind of fun.
It is
But
fun. Yeah, it's like pretty minimal again as far as tools go, but I think we
mhm,
kind of made the most with what we had. So.
yeah, and this thing just expands and grows so much, even though it's literally just a few guitars. Like
Mhm.
there's no drums on it. There's
Yeah.
no like really auxiliary,
Oh, it's the two
um,
acoustics, that pedal steel, and our vocals. That's it. Bass
like
and
bass.
bass. Yeah, bass.
So like
Just kind of copying the roots. Yeah.
with almost yeah with bare minimum like it
Hmm.
just became sort of again as we move through the b-side here we're going to
Hmm.
start to see the the record kind of take a bunch of different shapes, so this is kind of my favorite part. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, I think that's pretty much all of it.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more about guitars in the next episode. We've got kind of a big sort of guitar um uh segment I
Yeah.
think that
I'm
are
excited for the next one. You get just we'll show you all the pedals that we worked with, or at least, and I say all, it's like three. It's nothing crazy, but it pretty much just paints the picture for the whole sound of the record. So it'll be
right.
fun to show you guys kind of step by step how we kind of got to where we got.
Yeah, we might make Alex play a little guitar.
Uh-oh. God
But
forbid. God forbid.
but anyways, that's all we kind of have for episode 7. We've got some physical copies of the record if you're interested, some vinyls, some CDs, and yeah, appreciate y'all sticking around and listen to some of the past episodes here on the page. And we hope y'all continue to tune in the coming weeks. Appreciate you.